What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to this episode of the Double S NFL podcast. We're going to record in this one our week 4 game picks. And why don't we start it off, Sam? What do you got for Thursday night tonight?
I have the Bengals winning this one 24-20. As a lot of people know, the Dolphins walkthrough practice got leaked. As I think, therefore, Miami's going to struggle in the first half, and the Bengals will come away with a narrow win.
I think Tua's kind of hurt right now, and I think that will affect Miami tonight. Like, I don't think he's going to be necessarily a bad quarterback. I don't think he'll be clowned on, but I don't think he'll have the big time throws that he's had so far this year, just due to his injury. And I think that's really going to affect the landscape of the game. Like, I think the Bengals' big playability is going to give them the edge tonight. Both defenses are pretty stout, pretty solid for the most part, but I think that big threat of Burrow to Chase will give the Bengals the win. I'm going to go 28-24. All right. We'll go on to the first of the Sunday games, and why don't we start with the London game, 9:30 a.m., nice and early, Vikings and Saints. What do you have, Sam?
I have the Vikings taking this one in a close defensive game, 20-16.
How do you expect Jameis Winston to play?
Like Jameis Winston.
Like a couple boneheaded plays, as
Yep.
he always does. Um, I have the Vikings winning pretty easily in this one. I'm gonna go 24-10 for right now. I think James is still a very capable quarterback, but his injury is clearly not right now, and that's affecting him. I think we see about 2 to 3 picks for Jameis, and people are calling for his job. Um, Vikings, on the other hand, I expect a Jefferson bounce back game, and I also expect a big game from Irv Smith. I think the Vikings O line will hold up pretty well, and Kirk Cousins will just have to game manage in order for them to win this one. I think they win 24-10.
Next, we're gonna go to Houston for the Chargers and Houston and Texans game.
All right.
All right,
Um, what's your prediction?
I'm taking the Chargers to win this 21-20.
Explanation for why you think it's going to be that much of a close game.
Because the Chargers are that beat up, and not only that, they're losing two of their they may not have two of their top receivers. Keenan Allen's still banged up and questionable, and Jalen Guyton's out for a while.
Yeah, I think he's out for the year. Um,
And not only that, the Chargers' defense is pretty banged up too.
yeah, Joey Bosa, JC Jackson's been banged up.
Is J.C.
So
Jackson back?
he should be back, but I don't think he'll be at 100% just yet. I think the Chargers do win by 2 scores, 32-21, but I wouldn't be shocked if the scores flipped and Houston wins by 2 scores. Um, Justin Herbert is a phenomenal QB, but with his injury, it clearly held him back last week against a pretty inferior opponent at the time. But I think Chargers defense will do just enough to hold Davis Mills to only 20 in that offense, only 21 points, 32-21.
Next is Tennessee and Indianapolis.
I'll go first here. I think it's gonna be a great game, and I actually think this game goes to overtime. I think it's gonna be back and forth. I think both Ryan Tannehill and Matt Ryan perform pretty well, but not great. And the defenses are bend don't break for most of the game, but in overtime, I think Ryan Tannehill throws a pick six right into the hands of who other than Kenny Moore. He returns it for a touchdown. And I think the Colts defense does them in just enough favors to win this one.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Colts, but in more convincing fashion, 30-20.
All right. On next AFC matchup, we have the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Buffalo Bills. What do you have?
I have a 34-30 game. I think the Ravens have the best offense in the NFL when healthy.
I can agree with that, honestly. At least top three, like just J.K. Dobbins, Rashad Bateman, even Devin Duvernay, Mark Andrews, and with Lamar at QB, that offense is explosive and so fun to watch. And I think with a depleted Buffalo secondary, it's just going to be too much for them to overcome. 34-27 Ravens.
Next, I want to go to Philly and Jacksonville.
What do you have here?
I have Philly winning 27-17. I think Philly's just going to overpower Jacksonville.
Yeah, I think that too. I think Trevor puts together a couple nice drives, couple nice big time throws, but overall, that Eagles defense, Jordan Davis, Hassan Reddick, all of them in the front seven and secondary, it's just going to be a little too much for a young QB in Lawrence to overcome. 30-21.
All right, next is Washington and Dallas.
What do you have
This is
here?
my upset of the week. I'm going with Washington. I'm going to pick them to win 24-17. I think if Washington's offense just plays competently, I think that they can win the game.
So if Wentz isn't like a statue in the pocket, basically.
Yes. You can
Yeah.
have a good efficient game. I think that Washington will win this game.
Unfortunately, I do not think that's going to be the case this week. I have not liked what I've seen from Washington the past 2 weeks, and even like for the whole season, basically, except for a quarter of that Jags game. Wentz has not looked bad, but he hasn't looked great, and the defense is really struggling, especially without Chase Young. Cooper Rush and that Dallas offense should put together a pretty solid game, and that defense, I think, will be all over Carson Wentz. Give me the Cowboys in a blowout, 32-11.
Next, Detroit and Seattle.
Yeah, I think this game's going to be close in the first half. Like, I think Geno Smith has kept them kind of competitive, except for that Niners game. I think he's a solid game manager, but at the end of the day, they don't that defense is just atrocious, and without Jamal Adams, it's even worse. I think the Lions offense has a huge day and wins 35-17.
31 23.
Lions,
Yes.
what do you have for the Giants game?
I have the Giants winning 24-17.
In a similar result, I have the Giants winning 23-15. I think Justin Fields will have the better quarterback day of the two, but I think they'll both struggle a good bit, especially under subpar offensive lines. But I think this game's going to come down to two things: coaching and defense. And I think the Giants' defense will have the better game, and I think the Brian Dable will do just enough to outcoach Matt Eberflus in this one. I think they win in a tight, gritty matchup, 23-15.
Next, Jets Steelers.
Well, Zach Wilson is back, and for the Jets, that could only mean good things. But George Fant, Mekhi Becton, and Dwayne Brown are all on IR. The Jets are left with Connor McDermott starting at left tackle. And as Jets fans know, that is never a good thing. I think Zach will play solid, smart football. I think he'll go about 18-30 with a touchdown, maybe a pick. But that O-line is going to hurt him all day long. And even though the defense will be solid enough, I think Pittsburgh comes out on top 16-10.
I have 17-13 Steelers. I was very tempted to pick the Jets. Very
Same.
tempted.
But
I just can't do it right now.
I've picked against the Jets every game this year, and I'm going to continue that until they prove me wrong. All right, Browns and Falcons.
I'm taking the Browns to win this one 24-13.
Do you think this is the game? The Falcons' offense struggles, like fans call for Ritter.
Not yet. I think the Falcons offense will struggle, but they won't call for Ritter yet.
I think the same thing. I think Mariota won't be that bad. I just think the Browns defense, after a couple of rough performances, is due for a big bounce back.
We still do not know the status of Miles Garrett, but
Hopefully he'll be fine. All
next
right,
is
moving on to the 420. Carolina.
Arizona, Carolina. Who do you got?
Carolina 2020, 2021, 2017. Like a lot of these, they just own the Cardinals, and I expect that to continue on Sunday.
You do
Matt,
know last year that Arizona probably would have won if Kyler and DeAndre Hopkins played.
it would have been closer, but the Panthers like the Cardinals looked incompetent. Like Colt
Colt
McCoy
McCoy was that quarterback.
he looks good in other games. Like they have a common trend against the Panthers to like suck. And I think that'll continue on Sunday. I think Kyler's going to struggle under pressure. And I think Matt Rule, I've never said this before, will be the better coach. 26-17 Carolina.
I'm taking the Cardinals 27-13.
All right. Moving on to the Patriots and Packers. What do you got?
I got the Packers winning 31-9. Not a lot of explanation is needed. Brian
Brian
Hoyer is
Hoyer is the
starting at
Patriots quarterback.
Axel Hoyer is starting at quarterback.
Mhm. But the main thing is the pass defense is about to get torched.
Oh, it's gonna get eaten alive.
Aaron Rodgers hasn't been himself this year. He had a nice game last week, but other than that, I haven't been as impressed. But this week, he's going to flip a script and throw 6 touchdown passes. Rookie Romeo Dubes will catch 3 of them and route to a blowout 45-6 win. I think that secondary has 2 picks of Brian Hoyer.
Broncos Raiders. What we got?
Close one, but I think the Raiders finally get their first win in a battle of probably the 2 worst head coaches in football right now. Josh McDaniels and Nathaniel Hackett's squads go at it, but I think with the way Russ is playing, with the way that Broncos offense is functioning, I think the Raiders finally get the better hand this time, winning 25-17.
I'm going 27-17 Raiders.
All right. What about Sunday night? What about Chiefs and Bucks? What do you got?
I have the Chiefs winning 24-13.
So you think the Bucks offensive struggles continue a bit?
Yes.
All right. I think it'll be a tight game, neck and neck throughout the game, but I think the Chiefs win 23-21, holding off the Bucks. I think the Bucks offense struggles a little bit again, but picks it up in the second half. But the Chiefs and Mahomes is just too much for them.
LA, San Francisco.
Sean McVay finally gets the better hands of Kyle Shanahan after years and years of losing against him. Stafford will heavily outplay Jimmy G, and that Rams defensive front will do very solid against a weak Niners O-line. What do you think?
I'm taking the Niners. McVay has not beaten the 49ers in San Francisco since 2018. Yeah.
What do you think the score will be?
23-20. I think they went off of a last second Robbie Gold field goal.
I can see that. I just think the Rams. I don't trust Jimmy G whatsoever against that defense. Even
Jimmy
though
G beat that defense twice last year.
I know. I just think we're gonna see a different result this year. All right.
All right.
That will do it for our game picks this week. I hope you all enjoy the weekend. And yeah, thank you for watching.